festival here. You know, this was warm-up, right? Just to get you into your characters. I'm just going to share just very few things. I'll try to be specific rather than general. The one general note I would give to you is I'm not getting the story enough. I'm not getting the story. I'm getting a lot of emotion, but it's like watching an Italian movie without understanding Italian, or, you know, I'm not hearing the words. So it seems like I'm watching actors that don't really care about the words enough. They really want to emote their feelings. You know, that's what I kind of, as a general note, and I'm getting that. And actually, some of it, you know, is very strong and compelling, but only for the first 5 or 10 seconds. Then I want to know what you're saying. I go, oh, there's nice emotion, but what are they saying? That's why, you know, that's the job, isn't it? It's, you know, otherwise it's therapy. You know, doing that is therapy for the actor. Getting all the gestalt out. That's therapy. You know, the audience doesn't get it. They just get emotion. So is that enough? I don't think so. No, that's not enough. It's the other thing is there's either too much emotion in some cases. I'll be specific, or it's too soft, too quiet. And too quiet is fine, but if you're going to do something very soft, then you better damn well have the diaphragm underneath what you're doing. I couldn't hear a lot of those low, you know, things that there's a tiny space, you know, a tiny space. If you can't hear, that's not good. I mean, it means you're not. I should be able to talk like this without shouting and be heard in the back of a big house and in the balcony. I shouldn't have to talk like this to be. I don't have to talk like that if I'm supporting it, which is what we're talking about. Now, I realize you're not doing voice for 2 hours every day, which is what you do in a conservatory. I realize that. But I'm asking you to be as good as they are. That's very unfair. Good. I want you to push for that, meaning I want you to be more aware of that you have a long way to go to make it as clear as you can vocally. Sophia, it's beautiful, but I can't hear. A lot of it I can't hear. You see? If I'm this close to Dan as you were playing it for real for Dan, but you can't play it to Dan. You have to play it for them. You see? You were playing it to Dan. Of course you play it to Dan, but in theater, if you're playing to the guy who paid $150. Dan happens to be here, but if I'm talking to Dan in real life, I talk like this. In the theater, I talk like this to Dan. I know that I'm being heard up there. You have to make that adjustment. You can't forget that just because Dan's here. You can't forget him. A lot of people are forgetting him or her or somebody. Then it's therapy. Now, in rehearsal, it's okay to do that because you're working for certain things. You don't have to project in rehearsal. But I'm trying to, because of the time now, push you to tell the story. We don't have 4 weeks now. You know what I mean? We have to know how to get there faster. Okay? So I'm emphasizing clarity, voice, telling the story. In some cases, people don't understand their characters enough. Frank, as good an actor as you are, the role of Brick is about a man who can't let go of his emotions. You're letting go. I see all kinds of emotions up there. You're talking about, if I were Mackie, I'd go, I got no problem here. I got no problem. Look at him, he's coming out. He's so into himself. When he talks about these things, he might be burning inside, but he can't let much out. He's got to have that cool. He's got to have that cool. But underneath, there's something, he's trying to get something going, but he can't. But the words are strong, and they're very evocative, and certainly it's underneath, but he can't let it out.
Well, in this moment, it's the one moment when he does unleash it to his father. His father against the wall.
Not for the whole speech. I don't think for the whole speech, because that would be one level of unleashing.
Yeah, but
I would say, in no speech do you usually do the whole speech that way. You want to work towards letting it out on that one moment, maybe, but you would never let it out for the whole speech.
he's
Just like an orator is never sung the whole thing on one level of great emotion. There's always, you're always crescendoing or something there. You can't do it that way. It was all very much so. Yeah, it's that simple. You can say he might be, but he can't let out that much, or he'd have no problem. Even if, as I saw it, not until the end of the play. Not until the end of the play.
Well, that's
Otherwise, there's no place for that character to go, and all you have to figure out sort of where you're going. Yes, you're letting out some emotion, but it can't be all through it. There has to be. I think you have to feel that emotion and keep it underneath is a lot more. Babacar, it's all emotion, man. It's all emotion. Where are the words? Are the words chopped liver? Are the words weak? You have no respect, sir. You don't mean this. You're a good man. You're a nice man, but you have no respect for what you're saying. Those words are extremely strong. We don't need Babacar to do this. We don't need that. Shakespeare does that for you. You're working way too hard on the wrong thing. Get the sounds of the words. Trust that that's enough. Shakespeare doesn't need you to do that much. Get the bills, get the sounds of words and savor them. Somehow you don't trust that. Or you're thinking of, or you want to play Shakespeare, this Sturm und Drang thing. So all we get is, frankly, an African accent with too much emotion. You're too good an actor to do that. Tom Spears, how does he feel about that black hole, and how does he feel about dying? That's he has to when he says that poetic line, that's what's behind it. That's what's behind it. He just doesn't drop it like into the toilet. Okay. Let's be another general note, which is true probably because of the circle, but I think it's worth saying, and that is, if you have a scene like in The Bear, and how many people are in that scene? 2 in that scene, maybe 3 at the most. It's very different when you play a 2-person scene to everybody in the circle.
I didn't know what to do.
So a number of us are playing you know what I mean? These are speeches written for 2 or 3 people. When you play it to 4 or 5 or 7, it has a different feeling. And I've asked you specifically to try to find 1 person or 2 people in that scene and play it to them. Then it becomes focused, then it becomes specific, then there's a relationship rather than general bullshit, which is I'm talking to the mob. Anybody will do. Anybody will do. You're the character, no, you're the, well, you see, if you do that and make that person, all these people are 1 character, you still do, you diffuse that focus. It's very different when you have 1 person there and you're working off that person and you're really watching that person and feeling and sensing that person. That's a very different thing, and it helps you rather than general shit. This is general shit. When I talk to, even when I talk to, if I have a scene where I'm talking in Julius Caesar to the mob, I would then find different people in the mob to focus on, make it more specific. I would try to develop relationships with individual people in that mob, rather than bullshit stuff, general people, if I could. If I could. And now you know, and in Julius Caesar, Rome was not that big. Those crowds, they knew each other. They knew those people in that crowd. It wasn't like today. They knew some of those people that came to hear the orations. So as actors, you want to make sure that you don't do bullshit, that you don't just take this beautiful speech to whoever, I don't care who I talk to. You have to be specific to which character in that scene you say what to. And if you have this awful thing called a monologue, it's an awful thing. Unless you make it not a monologue, but a scene that you are giving a speech to someone who you have a relationship with. And if I have a monologue in a scene with 3 people, then I'm not talking to 1 person usually. 3 people are there listening to me. So I'm going to see how, if I'm talking to Sophia and Dan and Chelsea in my scene, there are 3 different characters. I have 3 different relationships. When I say this to Dan, I have a relationship and it's going to come out a certain way. I might turn to Chelsea, and what I say may have a different feeling. And then when I turn to Sophia, it may have another feeling. That's being specific, rather than I don't care, I talk to everybody the same. And that's where you get different colors in a speech, through the relationship that you have. That's part of how you get different colors. It's not everything. But it has a lot to do, otherwise it's this awful monologue. Ladies and gentlemen, do my speech, here it is. To be or not to be, thank you very much. Yeah, and I did it beautifully, and I know I did, thank you. Oh yeah. And you're encouraged to do that. Monologue books, no relationships, just speeches, no relationships, just speeches. Just learn the speech, do it. Don't have to have a relationship. Thank you very much. It's an industry. There are people teaching monologues. There are people writing and teaching monologues. They're not dummies. They know it's a business. And they know that everybody thinks that's how you get work. No, it's not. We know that it's not. We know that it's for general auditions, but then you've got to be called in and you can't read well. You have to read brilliantly. And you have to read with relationships in mind when you read for the role. You know? Sure. Monologue classes. You can read them. There are thousands of them. Monologue classes. Speeches. So, notes. Ed? Vincent? Quickly, anything?
Craig, you got great words there. Spring, clean, true relationship, Maggie. They all had the same. You were surfing them. They were just all the same. These are very powerful words. Maggie. How did that come out of your mouth? Frig. Just the word itself. Right? It's frig, right?
Frig.
Yeah. Well, yeah. How do you say when you would be friends? You have to say that, but you don't say frig. Frig. It's, you gotta find those colors.
Gonna be positive. For what at least I saw the last time from a lot of yours, you look like you took a lot of very good notes. You surely had a lot more emphasis on that character, I felt. You also just keep working in that direction. Roger did pick some specific people that he spoke. I totally agree. But for the people that he didn't specifically use, I think that a lot of you are working in the right direction.
Yes.
Chelsea, I definitely think that you need, I mean, this is just my personal thing. I don't think that you are playing her big enough.
I'm sorry, Vince?
I don't think Chelsea is playing her big enough. Now that could be directorial. I see her as, in order to keep those Johns, I think you're going in the right direction. Definitely different character than what we saw last time. But I just think she's a lot more bigger than life, and a lot more. Her death is almost cheating because she's so big that she just shouldn't die. I don't know. But everyone's going in the right direction.
Yeah, I just want to say the level was very different from last week. That really was, it was a much, it was a little more electric. So, yeah, that's what I want to say.
You know, by the way, I'm hearing myself now, and boy, I'm saying, Roger, you're being, I guess I'm sounding tough tonight. You know, I agree with Vincent. There's great talent in this room, you know. So I'm trying to give you, rather than keep patting you on the head only, I'm trying to give you things that I honestly feel might help. Some of it may not. But I'm trying to give you specific stuff that I hope will help based on whatever mistakes I've made in the past. Yeah. Bertha, the name Bertha. And by the way, you get a lot of ideas from the name of the character. When I think of Bertha, forget about Williams, I think of Bertha. Vincent, you used the word big. I've never seen little Bertha. When I hear Bertha, what do I think of?
Big.
Why? You know, did Williams think of that when he wrote? I think he did. Maybe I'm wrong. I think he thought. When he didn't name her Gwendolyn. When Gwendolyn is thin. You know how you get images? Gwendolyn is kind of dainty. Bertha. Bertha. You know what I'm saying? Now, this is not a big lady, but I'm not a big guy. But if I'm playing Bertha, I'm going to find the bigness in me, physically. You know what I mean? I'm going to stress whatever I can to be as big as I can up there. And when you watch a good dancer on stage, how did it go?
Good. It was all we do. Just
Right.
finished
I use the dance because they only work physically with their body, but they can fool you in terms of when you see them on stage, they often look much bigger than when you go backstage because they know how to do that. Well, actors do the same thing. We should. We shouldn't. You know, we can be smaller or we can be bigger, and you know that's part of what we do. So Bertha, I think Bertha is succulent. She's not a skinny, scrawny prostitute. You know, in my mind, anyway. Bertha is, now maybe she's sick, whatever, I don't care. It's Bertha, man.
Yeah, if you can look at her as a star prostitute, she was the one everybody went to, and she was starting to believe it until she got sick when she's nobody suddenly, but not to herself.
Three sisters.